It's 8:30 p.m. here in Tehran. You're with Press TV's International News.
Hello and welcome to this news broadcast. The U.S. military has announced the deaths of 2 of its soldiers in Iraq. One of them has been killed near Iraq's northern city of Mosul. The military says the other died of injuries he sustained on Thursday. The military statement gave no details of how the troopers died. The latest deaths bring the number of U.S. fatalities in Iraq to 4,399 since the U.S.-led invasion in 2003. Now, let's bring in Mr. Kevin Sanders, Director of War and Peace Foundation in New York. He's on the phone for us. Mr. Sanders, how can the U.S. government explain the deaths of American soldiers in Iraq at this juncture of time?
Well, it's unlikely that they will, and indeed they may never. The cloak of secrecy is obviously closed down. It's interesting, by the way, I should compliment Press TV because at this point you're the first people who have actually pinpointed perhaps the most relevant point of the story. Otherwise, the story there is very bland and has virtually no wider meaning. However, as Press TV has pointed out, the combat operations violated the earlier deal signed between Washington and Baghdad, under which the movement of the American troops would be not be unilateral and would be confined otherwise to the bases. Now, these deaths occurred quite literally off base, and that's interesting. And so one assumes that at any given time the military is up to something that is not revealed, or this so-called dark or secret or black operations. Such operations obviously have continued in Iraq, and it's now been made fairly evident by this latest report concerning these 2 deaths. And the issue finally comes down to probably, and again one can only guess because there's a complete lack of other information, but the guess, I think, an informed and educated guess would suggest that probably it has something to do with oil. That is to say that at any given time, the American government wants to have military observers or people present or people active as close as possible to the centers of oil. So it will probably track, if ever we learn, it will probably track down to something related to America protecting what it considers to be its oil supplies.
Okay, Mr. Sanders, many people are saying the U.S. is seeking to keep its troops in Iraq beyond the deadline, that is, I suppose, by the end of 2011. Would troop fatalities increase pressure on the U.S. government to leave as scheduled?
I think so. I think it may indeed encourage or even hasten the withdrawal. Though whether, in fact, that will ever take place finally as a withdrawal is not clear. The Americans still would like to have a great presence there, whether it be as an embassy, whether it be as a base, whatever. Essentially, to retain a presence there and a military presence, however it's described, again, for the simple purpose of oil. If it were not for oil, we wouldn't even be talking about this now.
Okay, many thanks, Mr. Kevin Sanders, Director of War and Peace Foundation from New York. Appreciate it.